no, those aren't human cookies. Those are dog cookies. I'll tell you about a culture of passionate pet owners and a store that is catering to them.
Coming up on CTV, the Denver St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Produced for students, by students. For Channel 11, this is CTV News.
Welcome to CTV News. I'm Wayne Stafford.
And I'm Elizabeth Drolet. Investigators remain suspicious about the causes of a fire that burned 3 boats near Horsetooth Reservoir. The fire started at Horsetooth Storage near Larimer County Road. This is southwest of Inlet Bay. Officials estimate the damage to cost around $150,000. Investigators are asking the public for any tips to help determine the cause of the fire.
According to an annual report, Colorado had the highest amount of reported fraud in the nation. The top areas of mail fraud in the state include Greeley, Colorado Springs, Boulder, Fort Collins, and Loveland. Police say the best way to protect yourself is to regularly check your bank account and never leave checks in an unlocked mailbox. Okay, a CSU-sponsored event called TED and CSU is coming back to Fort Collins. This yearly event focuses on environmental sustainability and it will feature predominant speakers such as former Governor Bill Ritter. This year's event is called Growing Greener Generations. It will highlight energy and education. This event will be held at the Lincoln Center in Fort Collins on April 23rd at 2 p.m. Tickets are free to CSU students and $12 for the general public.
Well, this year there's a slight change in the CSU presidential's campaign. Last year there were 4 candidates, but this year there's only 2. Students of the election committee say that this was often done in the past. There are 2 candidates, Regina Martell with running mate Joe Eden and John Dietrich with running mate Peter Mueller. Both candidates have their own reasons for stepping up.
Connect students to the resources that they pay for and connect them to the resources that help them succeed.
To really make an impact. And I saw this as an opening and a great opportunity not only for myself but to better the university as a whole.
Official campaigning starts Monday. There will also be 3 debates during that campaign term. All right, so you just got back to school and have been hearing all kinds of stories about spring break. But here's what you might have missed on one of the largest events in the country, right here in Colorado.
It doesn't matter whether you're Irish or not, because on March 17th, everybody's Irish. And at the Denver St. Patrick's Day Parade, you'll find plenty of green and some fascinating floats.
It's a 1924 USA open cab fire pumper.
This is a Russian bike. It's 1932 style.
His name's Thor. He's 18 hands. He's 1,800 pounds, and he's an English-bred Shire.
Starting in 1962, this year marks the parade's Golden Jubilee, the 50th year running, and saw record numbers this year, orchestrating more than 14,000 members, 236 entries, and entertaining nearly 250,000 spectators.
Hosting one of the largest St. Patrick's Day parades west of the Mississippi, the people of Denver show their Irish pride and a little green.
Oh, wait, I meant a lot of green. Food, drinking, tradition, and of course, a whole lot of fun.
It's just a great way for us to celebrate our heritage and share it with the city and the citizens of Colorado.
And all people of all cultures alike, here honoring tradition.
It's always nice to cherish your background, you know. I think you should always remember that.
So for those who might not know, the origins of the Denver St. Patrick's Day Parade started on St. Patrick's Day in the early 60s when 3 men conversing in Duffy's Shamrock Tavern in Denver decided to promptly exit and march around the block waving the American flag in honor of St. Patrick's Day and starting a new tradition of celebration that continues to grow with every year.
This is a wonderful day and I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't miss it for the world, and I love this parade.
Celebrating history and tradition the Irish way.
All right, so most people don't know the meaning of St. Patrick's Day, and it's a common misconception that St. Patrick's fame is derived from banishing all the snakes in Ireland. But the reality is, the reason why we celebrate St. Patrick is because he brought Christianity to the pagan Ireland, and while at the same time unifying the nation. Well, Liz, it's been so nice outside lately. Coming up, our weather anchor Kelsey McAllister will tell us if it's going to stay that way.
And I'll give you an inside look at some tasty treats for the dog in your life. Stay tuned.
RBIs and 36 homers. Swings it at the first pitch and fouled the feet back into the stand.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
43,000 CSU Ram alums call Denver home. Now it's easier for Denver Ram fans to stay connected with CSU. CSU is proud to announce the new Colorado State University Denver Center, where Ram alums will feel at home. It's a place to make professional connections, enjoy events with other alumni, and even show your Ram pride with a wide selection of CSU fan gear. Stay connected with CSU, the CSU Denver Center at 17th and Glenarm. Learn more at rams5280.colostate.edu.
Welcome back to CTV. I'm Kelsey McAllister with your weather update on the first day of spring. Well, temperatures are still staying warm. Through the end of the week, it will be in the 60s and 70s. Wednesday will be sunny with the highs in the 60s, but there will be some wind possible. Thursday will be mostly sunny with highs in the lower 60s, again with wind. Friday will have temperatures in the low to mid 70s with plenty of sunshine. To begin with our weekend with plenty of beautiful weather. The weekend will be warm. Temperatures will top off at nearly 80 degrees. With the sunny skies beginning the week, it'll be great, but the temperatures will begin to drop into the 60s and 70s once again next week. So, gotta get ready for that, guys.
Well, you know, Kelsey, I was wondering, what is the warmest temperature March has ever seen?
You know, in 1921, it was recorded that it got up to 81 degrees in March. And I mean, it's usually, we haven't gotten there, we've reached the upper 70s, but usually March is about 55 degrees.
Yeah.
So what do these warmer temperatures mean, Kelsey?
You know, guys, it means that severe weather's on its way and it's gonna be just around the corner, so be ready for that. With temperatures just coming up into the severe chance, there's an increased chance of severe weather with increased temperatures. This means people need to know what they need to do to take precautions in being prepared. One thing that I recommend is the Midland weather radio. This weather radio is sold for about $25 and it's easy to set up. You set it up with your county and you just punch in your zip code and it goes off anytime there's severe weather in your area. It notifies you with time to seek shelter if the weather is threatening your area. Be sure to tune in next week and I'll give you a full detailed report with a description of what you need to do to be prepared if severe weather hits your area.
Thank you, Kelsey. All right, Fort Collins is in the process of building a bigger home for one of its smaller populations. Due to the increasing Muslim population in Fort Collins, the tiny Islamic Center located on Peterson Street is moving to a much larger location on Lake Street to accommodate its growing community. The building is expected to be 18,000 square feet and 2 stories tall. The new mosque should be completed by the end of the year.
Man's best friend is playing a more important role in a pet owner's life these days. I went to Wag's Pet Market to get an in-depth look at a culture that views pets not just as animals, but family.
Charlie, the dog, is a regular at Wag's Pet Market in Fort Collins. While some may just call him man's best friend, his owner calls him a part of the family.
It's kind of like how sometimes you splurge on your kid.
And like a kid, she is willing to go the extra mile for her pet.
It makes me feel good. I know that the dog really appreciates it. I know that a lot of people spend more money on their animals than anything else.
And the unique and extremely animal-friendly Wags is the perfect place to cater to this love.
We're not just going to provide the food, we're going to give your best friend the best.
And the best can entail anything from toothbrushes to deli meats to baked goods to outdoor apparel. The pair represent a new generation of pet owners in a thriving pet industry. Store owner Matt Gauthier says a shift has taken place since he was a kid, and pets are not just pets anymore, but children.
I think some of these families just don't, with their careers and advancing their careers and women taking that role, I think people have stepped back from maybe having the children, and they're taking on dogs and looking at those as their family, their children. We hear it every day in our store.
And the numbers back this up. Gauthier said in 2007, the pet industry as a whole grossed $40 billion.
As of last year, it's a $50 billion industry. So the $10 billion growth since 2007 to 2012 is pretty significant in our economic climate.
So,
man's best friend or man's new adoptive child?
A question that depends on the person on the other side of the leash.
Kind enough to give me a sample of the puppy brownie.
Oh.
Now, apparently, these are supposed to be as nutritious and tasty for a human. Care to test this theory?
All right. I'm not sure how tasty they might be. Maybe nutritious because they are dogs, but all right.
You have nothing to lose.
It looks appetizing. So
it is. I mean, if a dog can eat it, it must be healthy enough for a human, right?
All right.
We hope so, at least.
I think I'm just gonna take the biggest bite I can, and just okay.
Just power it down. How's it taste, Wayne? Well, it does look tasty. I mean, those are actual real chips.
I would say I need something to drink.
You know? I feel like this is making
so good.
Our animals obese. Something to blame it on.
All right. Well, that was great. But coming up on CTV News, we get students' perspective on the Broncos' newest player, Peyton Manning. Don't go away.
See you tuned.
Colorado State University is committed to expanding access to education. Today, that includes online learning. CSU brings faculty and programs to students around the state and around the world. With flexibility to earn a degree online from a world-class university, and the ability to balance education with work and family. Learn more at succeedwithcsu.org.
It is official. As of today, Peyton Manning is now a Denver Bronco. Here with me to discuss Manning's impact is our own Chris Tiller from the Collegian. Chris, thanks for coming. And what is going to be his impact?
Well, Peyton Manning is undoubtedly one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game, easily top 2 with Tom Brady right now. So I think it's a great move for the Broncos. It'll definitely be a big upgrade from Tebow. I like everything about it.
Definitely, definitely. And then you said we also have kind of a quarterback comparison going on. Who do you think is going to be the most legendary quarterback in Broncos history?
That's an easy question. Definitely John Elway. He's a top probably 3 quarterback in the league's history. So undoubtedly the best quarterback in Broncos history, 2 Super Bowls, 5 or 6 appearances in the Super Bowl. Definitely John Elway.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if you're a lifelong Broncos fan, you might know the number 18 has some serious significance here in Denver. What's the story with that, Chris?
Yeah, so the very first Bronco quarterback ever was Frank Tribuca, and he also wore the number 18. It was retired, the number, in 1963, and he actually gave the okay for Peyton Manning to wear that. So very nice move on his part. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. That's always given to get the okay.
Yeah.
And so from here, Peyton Manning has said that he came to Denver because we had the 3rd largest cap room, and he also had a notable connection to John Elway. He also says that we have some serious free agents that could come in, including Ladarius Webb, Dallas Clark, Jeff Saturday, which he played with both of them, as well as Tegan Jr. and Aaron Hernandez. One of the huge difference in his contract is how much money Manning will be receiving compared to his opposition, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow only has a $9.7 million contract as of right now, which means he will be making 1/10 of what Manning will be making. But on a lighter note, some fun facts about Manning's contract is that he will be making more than the entire nation of Tuvula's GDP. It may be the smallest nation in the world, but it's still an entire nation. Also, if he wanted to branch out, he could end up buying 3,840 giraffes. Well, that's a pretty fun fact.
That's a lot of giraffes.
All right, and back to you guys at the desk.
Well, all right, that's all the time we have for you guys.
Tune in next week to see if I make Wayne eat anything more weird or do anything else out of the ordinary.
All right, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CTV11. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
They bear responsibility.
Late, which what were they doing? Were they at John Elway's
popping
restaurant
bottles, celebrating?
And they were like, yes, of course, we're rich. And then they drove down. I don't know how they talk. Probably not like that.